What's up? I am a guy because I am a guy. I play female trainer. Man, I just wanted to go over this like disaster run and just drop some commentary for anybody who does this stuff, especially in something like Brakenhide Hollow, where there's like a bunch of AOE poison and damage, whatever else. Man, this was a rough run. So anyway, I want to talk about some of the mistakes. Maybe someone will watch this when they're playing the game and don't know what to do, what not to do, from both a tank healer, not both, uh, but the trifecta: tank, healer, DPS. So here, the first mistake is the tank. I mean, obviously, it's my job to follow the tank and make sure he stays alive, but he goes like out of sight and he pulls like this one crazy crowd, and he doesn't pop any cooldowns. I can tell because of the damage he's taking. Warriors, when you pop your cooldown, shield wall, and shield block, and then what is this other thing called? Like something pain, searing pain, I think it's called, or something where it's like you get healed basically for taking damage. Pop those things when you pull these big crowds. I don't know what's with guys just running into stuff, and then not using your cooldowns. It's not like you can't use them again the whole run. You can use them 3, 4, or 5 different times in the run. Now, at the top of the top left, you see the DPS charts. I'm going to change that to healing received because I knew this was going to be a rough run right at the start. I was like, right here, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be tough. So I decided to switch to healing done or healing received, excuse me. And you're going to see here that you DPS tanks, man, you guys are just a wreck. DPS guys, y'all got to do better. But anyway, there are a few good parts on here. There's parts where I drop the ball, parts where the tank is just dropping the ball, but oh my, you're just killing me. So from a healer perspective, tanks, do this for us, please. And don't get mad because I'm a tank. I'm a warrior tank. So I know about tanking. I'm probably a better tanker than I'm a better healer. What you want to do is like at the top of the screen, as you can see, at the top of the screen, you can see who has aggro because they're red. So, this is a feature. It's not a bug, obviously. And so you see this as the tank also. So when you see that, like, you have a teammate that has aggro, it's your job to pull the aggro off of your teammate. But anyway, pay attention. So let's talk about paying attention. I mean, everybody needs to pay attention, but tanks especially. So everybody was feared, your healer included, and then you go running into pulling the next group. Does it make sense to do that? Probably not. Can you most likely live through it? Probably. But it's probably a good idea to make sure that everybody's healed up. Your healer has full mana and everybody's resurrected. And it's going to be a problem later on, but I'm mentioning it now so that you can pay attention to it.
Now I have a story to tell.
So the foundation of my healing strategy as a druid is basically what I'll do is I'll drop a healing totem and then I will do healing rain and then I'll just spot heal whoever needs it, usually the tank. Just the word to the wise, as you can see right there, pay attention to where you're standing. I didn't pay attention to where I was standing. I aggro the mob. Run to the tank. Like you see the DPS is doing it right now. They run to the tank and the tank picks up aggro. And as you can see, nobody has aggro but the tank how it's supposed to be. So here goes those DPS tanks. So we see the mob doing the AoE, and you're going to see this a lot in here. Mob be doing AoE, and then the DPS, in their desire to be number one on the charts, are going to just stick it out and take a bunch of AoE damage that I'm struggling to keep the tank alive with. So, and these guys with their low damage mitigation and armor, they're just taking a crap ton. So here I switch to healing received, and you can see who's receiving the most healing. I'm receiving the most healing here because I'm poisoned. But in a second, you're going to see like there's multiple instances where DPS are taking more healing than the tank. So you guys really just, oh, you guys kill me. And I'm glad that my audio is off. I had another one from Overwolf that recorded my audio, my personal audio. I was cussing these guys. I tell you, frustration.
Now I have a story to tell.
So this is a good example here. You look at the third from the top. The guy's just taking a crap ton of damage. The Brackenwood, whatever thing, the guy, the flag bearer guy, he's doing his AoE thing, and the DPS is staying in there instead of backing out. I don't know why you guys do that. It's like you're not tanks. You don't have damage mitigation. Just stay out of that stuff. All you're doing is just, stressing the healer's mana. It's really, really difficult, and it causes wipes because while trying to heal you, if something else goes wrong somewhere else with the tank or whatever else, well, we can't focus on that. And so, this is why you guys die. You complain, oh, you let us die. Yeah, the tank's more important. I just want to say, I'm using chain healer here, but I'm not a fan of it. But if I got like a situation where I see like here, where you got three people with aggro, okay, it's dropped down to nobody's really holding aggro here. The tank's not red, so he's not really, now he's got solid aggro. I'll use chain heal, but generally I like to only use chain heal when I have healing rain and a healing stream totem up. But I didn't have it, so it is what it is. All in all, like mana to healing ratio, it's a pretty crappy heal. I don't really like it, but I use it.
Now I have a story to tell.
Here, come for us, meat thieves! We ripped you apart! What you waiting for? Bring us meat thieves!
So here's another example. Tank pulls a huge crowd, doesn't pop any cooldowns. I can tell he didn't pop a cooldown because he's taking so much damage. If you pop shield wall, then shield block here, and then I forgot the other one. It's called something searing pain, or I don't know what, it's not searing pain. I think that's a warlock thing. But whatever, that thing that heals you through damage, you'd be doing really well here. You wouldn't be taking so much damage. And then of course you got the DPS staying in that AoE damage spin attack, which is goofy, but they do it the whole fight, and it really frustrates me. I was cussing and yelling. Not really, but I was cussing. Uh,
Let me show you a good trick.
It's too far away.
Now, in terms of healing, this is actually a pretty easy fight if everybody does what they're supposed to be doing, which is staying out of the guy's AoE spin, which you see in a second they won't do. So I've got everybody in range of Healing Stream Totem. I got everybody in range of Healing Rain. And then, of course, the guy's doing his AoE spin. Look, and dudes are just staying in it. Even I move out of the way, as the healer when I see this guy's coming close to me and he's doing his spinning thing. So now look at the healing done and how it's changing. You see this guy up here, number 2, the DPS. I'm spending so much time healing this guy that, he's catching up to the tank. And then, of course, nobody does stuff like kills the totem. And so I'm standing here polymorphed while somebody's dying. And that's DPS's job. It's your job to take down the ads. When you're fighting that dragon, I forgot the name of the place, halls or something or whatever else, you're supposed to take down the crystal ads. You're supposed to bring down the totems. You're supposed to bring down those little plants in the other place, where you got to fight the big tree guy. But goofy people doing goofy things. The last time I had a group like this, it was like, I think it was the second pull, I just left. But this time I was like, you know what, let me just see how bad this can get. And to me, this is an absolutely horrible run. This is the worst run I've ever had as a healer.
True.
Now, I'm not really sure what's going on here. This tank decided to do something different. He opened up the map, he looked, and then decided to take some odd, crazy route. I've never gone this way. Has anybody else ever taken this route? This guy takes this route. I don't know. It just seemed like we killed everything in freaking dungeon. It was like, yo, how many dudes do we want to fight here? Oh man, it was crazy. I mean, if it works, it works. But it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be like the who moved my cheese guy, but why are we going this way? We killed so much trash for nothing. It was insane. And I didn't see the benefit of coming this way. Maybe somebody else can school me on the benefit of coming this way, but I didn't. For a minute here, I was kind of just like, okay, what's going on here? Now, although that went less than ideal, that was most ideal. There, I just screwed up on my healing rotations and the way I do things. I didn't keep healing rain up. I didn't keep a healing stream totem up. But that actually didn't go so bad. The rest of this, nightmare stuff. So getting aggro, bad example of what to do. Dragon over there has aggro, doesn't take it to the tank, comes over to me with the aggro. And yeah, okay, they took care of it, but it was just like, yo, run to the tank. Now, see, I get aggro. So what do I do? I run to the tank. Watch, you're going to see. Boom, change target. There you go. Okay, I've still got high threat, but I don't have aggro. Guys always run to the tank, because they generally have like some sort of AoE damage or something to gain aggro. So just make sure you go to the tank if you have aggro. So here the tank was actually kind of cool. He waited for until I had full mana, but then he starts doing goofy stuff. So you see that the boss here does this blowback thing. Watch what the tank does. Now, I'm very specific as a tank here. What I'll do is I'll back up almost to like that little river thing of decay. And what I'll do then is when I get blowback, I'll fly back. Sometimes I fly into the muck. It doesn't matter. I'm the tank. I got the most health. I got swallowed here, and I was kind of surprised for a second. Like, I was like, what's going on here? I think this is the first time I ever got swallowed. So I was just like, what? Yeah, and I almost died because I was confused. I was trying to move around. I was like, why am I not moving the way I want to move, but I'm moving? So right here, you see the tank, he tries to turn the boss away so that the blowback isn't facing everybody. But he does it like multiple times, and he blows back multiple people. What I like to do as a tank is go next to the river. He did it right there. And then I get blown back across the river, which I don't care. But nobody ever stands behind me. And so I never have the problem when I'm tanking of people getting blown back along with me. Yeah, just small details, man. Pay attention.
Strong meat.
So here, pay attention. You're going to watch the healing received section and watch how rapidly this changes. You have the tank, which is brown. Now watch green and yellow. How are you receiving more damage than the tank? I mean, I think they're poisoned. I think that's what maybe is going on here. But it's like, even outside of like poisoned situations, guys are just taking damage. These DPS tanks, man, they are the worst. Oh, they just disgust me. And in case you think I'm exaggerating here, pay attention to this. So I get my standard system laid out. Healing stream, Healing Rain. And who does the Healing Rain and the Healing Stream heal more than anybody else? DPS. But you'll see a lot of this. So I'm going to blame this one on the tank. I mean, just look at what's going on here. What is happening here? We got mobs everywhere, just doing damage everywhere. Group them together. By now, we've done these runs so many times as a tank, and I'm speaking as a guy who tanks regularly. We know which mobs move. We know which mobs don't move. You take the mobs that move and bring them to the ones that don't move. Well, this isn't rocket science, But look at the healing done again. Because I had to sit there and focus fire heal that guy. I couldn't get my system down. And I mean, I have to learn how to operate outside of my system, as a healer. But I couldn't even cast Healing Rain because the guy would have died before I'd finished the cast. Because Healing Rain, as we can see right here, is just a very slow cast. So I had to use Surge Heal, which is my fastest heal. I don't consider it to be, it's an efficient heal, but it's not like the most powerful one. And so it's just, because the dude's got mobs everywhere, I can't properly, get a system down to keep everyone healed up as best as possible. See, I've got the Healing Rain down on everybody. Okay, my my Healing Stream Totem is down. But again, we have a situation where I'm not really sure it would make a huge difference if I did have it up.
I need to get closer.
So I have to say, for this run, this boss fight probably went the best out of all of the fights in general, including against the mobs. Everybody stayed out of trash. The tank held aggro, even on the ads. They burned down the ads pretty quickly, which are the dogs here. I mean, everything went pretty well here. Everybody stayed inside or close to inside of the AOE healing I dropped. So it didn't turn out. This actually had the entire run turned out half as good as this fight did, I would have been happy. But, it was an entire disaster.
Rip them apart, beast! Kill the hot leader! Clever meat! Come to me, clever meat! I'll wither your strength myself!
And then here we go with the tank taking like some crazy direction again. Look at all those mobs down there. It's like, what are you doing? I don't know why he wants to go that way. I mean, I guess no matter which way you go, there's a bunch of mobs. You got them running towards you, or you got them standing still here. I'm not sure if it's a huge difference, but I've never gone this way. I guess I'm just being who moved my cheese guy. But I don't like it because I know the tank's not going to pop any of his cooldowns, in order to increase his damage mitigation and survivability. So that means I got to do it. Now, here, what does happen, though, is watch how no one's paying attention to infection. Now, here I infected that guy. That was on accident, but I wanted to make sure I didn't get hit with the AoE. and then I ran through the crowd and I affected somebody else. This right here, this was my fault. This was 100% my fault. So I'm gonna have to own that one. But it was already a crappy run, and I was just annoyed, and I was just like, ugh. So at this point, I was just sort of like annoyed to the point that I didn't even really care about how things are going. So in case you don't know, that green circle you see there around the players, that's infectious. That you can give that to another player, and it is hella hard to heal through. So if you have that green circle around you, just stay away from people. I don't care if you can't DPS. See how the DPS? He's doing it right. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep him alive. I think he died. Now look at the mage, runs right through it, gets infected, and it's just like, come on, bro. I don't know if this can be dispelled. I actually never looked. Can that be dispelled? So now, from a personal tank perspective, look what's going on here. We've got the Evoker. I called the Evoker a mage just a second ago. Is rezzing a DPS, and the tanks moved on to the next crowd. Yo, pay attention as a tank, man. Is everybody full health? How's the mana of the healer? Is everybody alive? Before you go pull in the next group, because we can't resurrect somebody if we're in combat. So it's kind of like, I think it's rude, but you play the game how you want to play the game. But I just find it like, wow, like, dude, seriously. And in case you're wondering about me stopping and looting, I'm at the point where I'm looting everything because I'm just like, I want to cop my repair bills back. I just want to get enough gold to cover my repair bills at this point. So I got enough gold, but it's just like, ugh, man, it really sucks. So here again, tank not popping his cooldowns. He's pulling huge crowds. He's taking a crap ton of damage. Or is it? No, I think he popped cooldowns here. He had to have. Yeah, he's not taking damage like normal. But then the crowd's not as big as I thought it was either. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so in case you're wondering about my mouse up there hovering around, yes, I do click on the individuals I'm going to heal. But when I'm not doing it, then basically, because I'm using buttons, I'm using like hotkeys on the side of my mouse. My mouse has like 12 buttons on the right-hand side of it. And I'm healing using hotkeys. So that moving around is not me. It's just, it's just my mouse doing its thing. Just in case you were wondering. Another problem here, as you guys can see, is like our top DPSer keeps dying. And so the one doing the most DPS is who? I think it's the tank. I'd have to go back to the DPS charts, but when I was looking, the top DPS is the guy that keeps dying, and then after that was the tank. If you have low DPS, that's also a problem because you don't kill the mobs fast enough, and then it just becomes it's no longer a game of anything but how good is your healer, because then your healer has to basically heal through 5 minutes of killing mobs. So Get your gear and your game up, homies.
Your corpses will spread the
So I will tell you right now, this turned into a wipe, and this was like there's like a lot of stuff went wrong here. I don't know if it's my fault. We'll take a look and see. Yeah, I'll take blame for it. I don't know. But what I generally do here is I try and put down healing rain in our path so that when we run from this circle that silences you, we run into healing. And I try and keep a healing stream totem down. So as you can see, I don't have it. There it goes, healing stream totem. And I put down healing rain. So once that thing passes, you can go behind it and spend a long time inside of healing rain. But everybody spends all this time outside of it. Now, I understand you got to kill the totem, whatever it is, but nobody's killing the totem. And so it's like I'm standing there getting my butt kicked. Oh, someone killed the totem. Look at that. Isn't that something? So I can't really place what happened here. We'll see in a second. But I just know it went bad. What was it? What was the breaking point here? I don't have a healing stream totem down. Oh, there it goes. About to drop the healing rain. There we go. Everybody's inside of it. Everybody's inside the range of the totem. Tank is taking a crap ton of damage. He's not. Look, I mean, look at that. The tank is leaving the boss to go kill totems. The DPS isn't killing totems. Who's killing? Look, the tank goes kill the totem. Nobody else is killing the totem but the tank. It's just goofy stuff. So now I'm trying to heal through stuff. I can't, take a break here to drop healing rain and a healing stream totem. Lose the tank. And I won't lie, right here, I kind of froze up. I was like, what? And so everything went wrong after this. I didn't really know what to do at that second until I got my bearings back. And then I started, going through, the healing cycle of who was alive, which ended up being the Evoker. And the Evoker started doing the job right and killing the totems. But it was just, it got too crazy. I thought we could beat him, but I was running out of mana. And I was trying to stick to the pattern because I couldn't do direct heals because my mana was so low. You see, look at my mana. My mana tide totem is on cooldown, so I'm just running around doing what I can, how I can, and it wasn't good enough. So I'm trying to. Yep, there he goes. And then I thought I could fight it, and then I selected him. I was like, no, there's no way I'm gonna win this. So I just died. So this time things went better. I got my pattern down, and everybody started doing what they were supposed to be doing. I think everybody's kind of like, okay, yeah, we can't just click buttons mindlessly here. We gotta, handle business properly. And so when the totems popped up, dudes killed the totems. You see the DPS going over there for totem. Oh no, that's actually not DPS. It's tank again. Oh, it's a shame. I kept the totem down. I kept healing rain down. So it went better this time. Although, again, it was just so rough. Normally, I like the first three pulls. I leave groups like this. You know, like when I see things are going bad. But like I said, this time I wanted to check it out. So here, what I'm doing basically is I'm using chain heal, which I hate. But when everybody's sick or poisoned or whatever that is, I just chain heal through it, and then I get the totem back down, get healing rain back up, and rinse and repeat. It generally works, but maybe I need a new tactic or new techniques. I don't know. These guys definitely need to kill totems faster. I don't know what their problem is. I'm staying in the healing rain in case I get sick. My timing was off there with the chain heal because I was expecting the poison slash sickness to come out, and it didn't. So generally in this group, I actually have enough room to DPS. This is how bad this run was. I generally have time to drop, flame shock and a few lightning bolts on the boss. I don't get to just sit there and DPS, but even as the healer, I get to do some DPS on this boss. That's how smooth this run usually goes. So anyway, Nightmare run was terrible. I didn't get any good loot, and yeah, I was mad, and I started typing that. But anyway, I'll show you how tanking is done on another video.